Here's a little trivia I learned while digging into some Trafford history. The old Trafford Sandlot football team, known as the Trafford City Alumni, was the first football team to compete against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I may be splitting a few hairs, but I'll let you be the judge. Let's go back to the early days of football in Pittsburgh. In 1933, it is known that Art Rooney paid $2,500 to the National Football League to form a professional football team called the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates played against other NFL teams like the Chicago Cardinals and the Cleveland Rams. Can you picture going to a football game to watch the Pittsburgh Pirates play the Brooklyn Dodgers? The Pittsburgh Pirates played at Forbes Field from 1933 to 1939. In 1939, Art Rooney became the father of twin boys. I can imagine him saying to himself, how is anyone going to tell them apart? Was he talking about his twin boys or the two professional teams named the Pirates? Maybe both. Rooney knew that his football team needed their own identity, and he looked to the public, with the help of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, to come up with a new team name. On March 2, 1940, the new name was announced. The Pittsburgh Pirates football team officially became known as the Pittsburgh Steelers. When Trafford City was founded in 1904 by industrialist and entrepreneur George Westinghouse, the Trafford foundry made casings to house the internal workings of the Westinghouse generators. And so it may be fitting that the first team to ever play the Pittsburgh Steelers came from a blue-collar town in western Pennsylvania, where most of the town's residents worked in this foundry. The town also prided themselves on having a competitive sandlot baseball and football team. The Trafford City Alumni team was made up of former high school and collegiate players. Their headquarters were located inside Louis Esquino's pool room on Capets Avenue. The team was made up of collegiate players like Elmer Murkowski, former Pitt tackle who once played in the 1937 Rose Bowl championship, and two Duquesne Duke football stars, Bill Critchfield and Gino Onder. They both played in the 1937 Orange Bowl, beating Mississippi State. Then there was Bob Elliott of the St. Vincent Bearcats. Local tough guy Raid Mihalovich. He used to box at the Palisades in McKeesport, a 5-time Golden Gloves champion. On August 11, 1940, the Pittsburgh Steelers reported to training camp at St. Francis College in Loretto, Pennsylvania. The home schedule showed the first game of the 1940 season to be played against the Chicago Cardinals on September 8th. The Steelers added a couple practice games before the season, and the Trafford City Alumni would become their first opponent against the newly branded Steelers. The Trafford contest was billed as an exhibition game to be played in the hometown of Steelers player Ed Karp. The proceeds from the event would benefit the Duquesne Police Pension Fund. Scouting reports looked promising for the Trafford City Alumni. Just days before the game, the Steelers were suffering from colds, and practice turned to light drills. Even the star of the day suffered an injury before the contest ever began. On August 28, 1940, the Trafford City Alumni showed up at the Duquesne field to play before a capacity crowd of 4,000, making it the first game ever played by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Trafford team put up a formidable defense against the professional team, but the Pittsburgh Press reported that at no time did the alumni team threaten to score on the pros. In fact, Trafford only generated 2 first downs the entire game, and the lopsided matchup had the Steelers beating the Trafford City Alumni 49-0. So while the Trafford team may not have been an even matchup against the pro team, there were a few notable firsts to mention about the contest. In the first quarter of the game, Jack Sanders blocked a punt attempt by Trafford's Gino Onder. An interesting fact about Jack Sanders: after World War II erupted, Sanders enlisted in the Marine Corps and was commissioned as second lieutenant. He lost part of his arm fighting in Iwo Jima. When Sanders returned to the United States, he received medical treatment at the Naval Hospital near Philadelphia. The Steelers still owned his contract, but with the blessing of the Steelers, he was released to the Eagles and played just a few games with their club before retiring. In my humble opinion, it was Lou Tomasetti on a 22-yard pass from the Baylor bomber Billy Patterson. Billy Patterson even pulled off the Steelers' first rushing touchdown with a 75-yard broken field run in the first quarter. There was one player on the Trafford side that ended up playing professional ball. It was Trafford City Alumni player Elmer Murkowski. He played for the temporary merger of two NFL teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Cardinals, during the 1944 season. And then he played with the Steelers in 1945 and 1946. I hope you enjoyed this bit of Trafford history, and if you did, please consider making a donation to the Trafford Community Public Library.